The story that has set the nation on fire.
This really is like a checkmate for them because all of the standard narratives don't work with this.
The media tried to outright ignore it, but now they're blaming everything but the murderer, ensuring this will happen again.
And I'm from North Carolina, so this hits close to home. This occurred 2 hours from where my mother lives.
As a full video is too hard to watch, where Ukrainian war refugee Irina Zarutska gets off her shift from a pizzeria.
I just checked my phone and saw the full footage, and it kind of changes the whole thing, even though the events are the same. We knew what happened, but it's something about the human response that's more shocking and unsettling.
The reason that I want to show it to you is because I want you to see the totality of what happened. I want you to see what happened to the young lady, how quick it happened, and the subsequent actions after it happened, meaning that nobody even looked in her direction to help her.
I just spent hours editing this video. I'll keep the footage I edited this morning, but this whole thing just kind of went to another level. I think this is bigger than we even realize right now. It's the fact that no one did anything. It's the look of shock in her face, as though she's thinking like, wait, I left danger, I left Ukraine. This is supposed to be America, but this is where she died. Yes, perhaps the people around her did not even know that she had been stabbed, though the blood would become pretty apparent. She slips down onto the floor and is gone. And no one even tries to render aid. There's only a few people in frame, but those people will have to live with this. Their faces are out there. People are gonna know who they are. Live like the audience is always watching, because they are.
And for days, the mainstream media just pretended it didn't happen.
And that is what has fueled this, the silence that is deafening.
But after the video went viral, their reporting tried to make it about MAGA, stating MAGA influencers are drawing repeated attention to violent attacks.
Then to spin it and bring in Trump as though it's a political narrative, it just escalates it.
Saying all reporting says crime is down, it's just these videos that are causing people to question our bogus stats.
Then Brian Stelter comes out and makes one of the stupidest observations you could possibly make on this topic.
The open racism on sites like X today, it's eye-popping.
It's just the gasoline that just, and watch what happens next.
He appears more horrified by the outrage about this murder than the crime itself.
The energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. It's a little bit like the times when civil rights groups have raised attention about police-involved shootings.
Really, you're gonna drag Trump into this? How?
In this case, it is Trump-aligned influencers who are posting up a storm about this case on social media. Really, over the weekend, Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, other Trump-aligned figures succeeded in making this senseless death a symbol of big city crime.
And it's just like, really, that's your critique? That's your takeaway from this footage, from this story? Are you going to say anything about the absence of coverage?
The open racism on sites like X today, it's eye-popping.
Thank goodness Elon Musk bought X. Had he not bought X, we probably would not have even heard about this story. And this happened a month ago.
And it's being used, as you said, Brianna, as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments and more incarceration.
This guy has already committed armed robbery, felony larceny, committed breaking and entering, and shoplifting.
The perpetrator was a well-known career criminal who had been previously arrested and released on cashless bail in January a total of 14 times.
As he has past convictions for armed robbery, felony larceny, and much more.
I don't know what's going to happen next, but this thing just went to a whole nother level.
Are you telling me that someone can commit a crime, sometimes even the same one, a multitude of times, and be released over and over and over and over again? And the more I look into it, the angrier I get.
With everybody wondering what judge would let an individual like this free, and should they be held equally accountable for the murder? And this is unconfirmed, so for now I'll blur it. But it seems the original appointed judge hasn't even passed their bar exam.
No way, like what? We'll have to see if that is confirmed.
As they're simultaneously the director of Second Chance Services, which would be a major conflict of interest if the judge in charge of sentencing homeless criminals was overturning their convictions to send them to a mental health clinic that she was the director of.
It sounds like the school where I used to teach.
But they can't get away with it without the assistance of the media.
No one seems to care when a white woman gets stabbed to the death.
Wow. He said white a lot.
Well, we are talking about it here, so I guess.
People have noticed that the absence, it's the silence that is deafening on this.
People pointing out how the AP seems to have largely ignored the story, with the New York Times doing the same selective reporting.
But no, we'll just dismiss this. This is just MAGA aligned influencers.
I have to say, some of the replies to Musk, some of the comments around this story are baldly racist, stoking fear of African Americans because this man attacked a white woman.
And then people, they're going to point out, well, what if you switched the races? It would be off to the races. The media would just run with this. It would be wall to wall.
And the manner in which they choose to elevate certain crimes and downplay others is, I think, just causing further harm to the media's reputation.
People look at this and say, this could happen to me. This could happen to a family member because this woman was just going about her business.
To be on a train as an innocent person minding your own business and being stabbed to death, that is what's eye-popping to people.
It's not just about guns because there's no gun in this story for them to make it about.
The racial profiles of the murderer and the victim are inconvenient. There was no gun involved, so they can't fight the Second Amendment, which is one of their favorite tropes.
There's no way to stop knives. We've seen that in the UK. People will kill with whatever they can get their hands on. The only way to stop, I was talking to someone in the UK about this. They were talking about the knife crime epidemic. He said, I do think it's silly how in America people can carry firearms.
But I am very glad that we don't have guns over here. I say that. We do have shootings. People have been shot. I think even recently. It's just very, very rare.
Why do you think knife crime is such an epidemic in the UK? Because no one is able to carry firearms. It seems like there'd be a less of a barrier to stab someone. If you allowed people in the UK to carry firearms, that would solve the knife crime problem.
At the end of the day, if someone really wanted to end you with a knife, they can do it just as easily as a gun, especially if they catch you by surprise. The only defense that you've got, literally, against a situation like that is that you can run. And
unless you could carry a gun. And I was thinking about this, the only thing that could have possibly prevented that when he pulls out that knife would have been someone concealed carried. And even then it would be very slim because the laws are so strict that you would not be able to fire until the point where his arm is actually raised. Like if he had just taken out a knife and you were to take him down, you would be charged. You would not believe how difficult it has been just to even get a firearm, not to conceal carry, but just to have it in your house. You have to go to the police station, get the application that tells you then have to go sit down for a training course that you then take to the police department and conduct an interview with the police and explain why you want to purchase a firearm. Then you're able to actually submit the application, and then it can take up to 6 months.
As if you're wondering why nobody stepped in to try to save her, New York City's case against Daniel Penny is the perfect example why people won't step in.
So now looking at this footage, I can't help but ask myself the question, like what would happen even if you can't stop it in the moment, even if he's already lands the blow and then he's walking away? Would you be in your legal rights to pull and take him down? I can hear the instructor saying, well, no, he doesn't impose an immediate threat to you. You have a duty to retreat, even though he just stabbed someone. If you fired on him, you would go to prison. Deeply disturbing.
Today, I would like to address the tragedy that has not received nearly enough media attention, the brutal murder of Irina Zarutska.
It has escalated to the point where, yes, now Trump is commenting on it.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people.
The ramifications of this are this is gonna be a moment.
And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it.